At Drip Depot, we want everyone to enjoy how wonderful drip irrigation is. We realize that for someone without drip irrigation experience, the task of installing a drip irrigation system may seem confusing and at times frustrating. To eliminate the confusion and frustration, Drip Depot has created complete raised bed gardening kits. Each kit includes everything needed to create a working drip irrigation system for raised beds. In addition, Drip Depot provides detailed installation instructions in each kit, online videos showing proper installation techniques, and a friendly customer service staff always ready to help and answer your questions. The rest of this video will demonstrate how easy it is to install drip irrigation for raised beds. Each raised bed will need 2 elbows, 1 end cap, 1 T, and 1 shutoff valve. To start, cut the main line tubing near the first raised bed. To install the T fitting, screw the locking nut backwards. Push the tubing over the barb. Once the tubing is over the barb, screw the locking nut forward, locking the tubing into place. A tip for anyone experiencing difficulty when pushing fittings into tubing is to heat the end of the tubing with hot but not boiling water. This temporarily softens the end of the tubing, helping to make fitting insertion much easier. A short length of tubing is attached to the Permalock T in the same manner as shown before. The tubing is run to the bottom corner of the raised bed. A pair of scissors can be used to cut the tubing flush with the corner of the raised bed. A Permalock elbow will be inserted into the tubing at the base of the raised bed. The elbow makes a 90-degree turn in the tubing and helps to run the tubing up the side of the raised bed. A length of tubing will be inserted on the top side of the elbow fitting. The tubing will run up the side of your raised bed, so it is important to trim flush with the top of your raised bed. Once the tubing has been cut, another Permalock elbow will be used to make a 90-degree turn in the tubing. Again, to insert the fitting, screw the locking nut backwards, exposing the barb, push the barb into the tubing, and then screw the locking nut forward. This locks the tubing into place. A very short piece of tubing needs to be added to this elbow fitting in order to add an inline shutoff valve to the top of the raised bed. Once the tubing is securely fastened to the fitting, use a pair of scissors to cut 3 or 4 inches past the fitting. An inline shutoff valve will be inserted into the open end of the tubing. Inline shutoff valves offer great flexibility in raised bed systems. They allow you to manually shut off water to individual beds located within your system. On the free end of the inline shutoff valve, attach another section of tubing. This tubing will run to the end of your raised bed and act as your header row. Once at the end, use a pair of scissors to trim the tubing to match the end of your raised bed. This run of tubing will need to be capped off. Use a Permalock end cap to do so. Screw the nut backwards, exposing the barb. Push the barb into the tubing. Then screw the locking nut forward, securing the fitting to the tubing. To keep the tubing on top of the raised bed, C-clamps are needed. Position the clamp over the tubing as shown. Next, use a hammer to drive the nail into the wood of the raised bed. This will securely mount the tubing on top of the raised bed. Repeat this process every 12 inches until you reach the end of your raised bed. Now that the header row is secure, now it is time to add the 1/4 strip line to the system. Use the hole punch provided in the kit to punch a hole in your mainline tubing. Push the 1/4 strip line over one barb of the 1/4 barb connector. The other barb of the connector then can be pushed into the hole that was punched with the hole punch. Now the 1/4 strip line can be run to the end of the raised bed. At the end of the bed, use a pair of scissors to cut the 1/4" strip line flush with the end of the raised bed. The end of the 1/4" strip line will need to be capped. A goof plug is used to do this. A goof plug has 2 barb sizes. One is used to plug a hole or mistake in a 1/2" tubing, and the smaller size is used to end a run of 1/4" tubing. A pair of pliers can help make goof plug insertion much easier. In order to make sure the 1/4" strip line stays in place, a 1/4" C-clamp is used to secure it to the top of the raised bed. Use a hammer and drive the nail into the wood of the raised bed. Our kits are designed to have a run of 1/4" strip line every 12 inches inside the raised bed, meaning that a bed that is 4 foot wide would have 3 runs of 1/4" strip line inside it. Kits also come with drippers that can be used to drip irrigate pots that are located near raised bed. Start by punching a hole in the nearby mainline tubing. Next, push solid microtubing over one of the barbs on the 1/4" barb connector. The other free end of the connector then can be pushed into the hole that was punched. Run the solid microtubing up to the plant that you wish to water. Use a pair of scissors and cut at the length desired. Push the barbed end of the dripper into the microtubing. Next, push the tubing into the V of the stabilizer stake. Now take the dripper and place it near the base of the plant that is to be watered. Need more help? Check out our website for self-help materials, or one of our friendly customer service agents is waiting to help you.